What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Cine Critique. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new zombie flick on Hulu, Little Monsters, starring Lupita Nyong'o. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I've just about had all I can take with zombie comedies in general. Unless you're really bringing something new to the table, I don't really want to see it, especially after being forced to see The Dead Don't Die. That movie was so bad. I literally believe they were trying to end the zombie genre entirely, and they almost succeeded. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that it's a really dead period right now when it comes to movies and stuff, I probably wouldn't have checked this movie out, especially with Zombieland 2 right around the corner. But indeed, folks, that is the reality we're faced with, and this movie does have Lupita Nyong'o. I mean, how bad can this movie be, right?
Lieutenant, sir, why are we here?
It's zombies again.
Fast ones or slow ones, sir?
Slow.
Thank God they're slow.
So Little Monsters is a zombie comedy that follows a slacker named Dave, whose confidence that he'll make it as a musician is balanced out by the fact that he has a complete lack of ambition. Of course, this behavior catches up with him as he's soon left without a girlfriend, a band, or a place to stay. Forced to move in with his sister, he has to, in return, help take care of her 7-year-old son Felix, so he decides to chaperone the boys' class on a field trip just so he can try to get with the teacher, Miss Caroline. While trying to get in Miss Caroline's pants is Dave's goal for the day, that soon gets thrown out the window when a zombie outbreak traps them all in a park during a field trip to see good old Teddy Mick giggle. Forced now to fight for everyone's survival, we get to see what Dave is really made of.
I don't give a shit.
I gotta say, right off the bat, this movie is better than it had any right to be, especially coming from a Hulu movie. The first half of this film gave me some of the best laughs I've had all year, and the humor is definitely crude. It's a lot of curse words, but if crude humor is your thing, this will be right up your alley. There's a shit ton of gore too. Although the blood didn't really look that realistic, there were moments where the special effects did look cheap, but I can't really imagine that a Hulu movie would have that high of a budget anyways, so it's not something that bothered me that much. For Lupita Nyong'o fans who are interested in seeing this movie just because of her, you're not going to be disappointed. There's nothing Lupita Nyong'o can't do, it seems like. Her acting range is insane. She can do drama, she can do horror, she can do comedy, and in Little Monsters, she does a little bit of everything. I actually went into this expecting her to be the main lead. That's definitely how this film is being marketed, but the true lead character in this movie is Dave, played by Alexander England, who does a good job playing a loser man-child. The redemption arc in this movie is something we've seen before. It's very much like Shaun of the Dead, where we see our main character go from zero to hero, but the script is self-aware enough that Dave never really becomes the be-all end-all of the story. Instead, it focuses more on Miss Caroline and the lengths this teacher will go to protect her children from these zombies. The supporting cast was really great too. I was expecting to see Josh Gad steal the show, and don't get me wrong, he's actually really funny, especially in the first act of this movie as a creepy kid entertainer, but the one who really steals the show here is Dave's little nephew Felix. I usually actually don't really like to see kids in movies. A lot of them tend to come off as annoying, but when you get a kid in an adult movie, especially in a comedy that really knows what the hell they're doing, it makes the film just work so much better. It's like the kid from Role Models. Without that rude ass little kid, the movie wouldn't have been nearly as funny as it was, and the same thing applies here. The kid adds to the movie instead of being a burden to it, which is huge considering that this movie is essentially a mix between Shaun of the Dead and Kindergarten Cop. This is a movie that can definitely be considered a love letter to teachers, and we see this through some really cool action sequences of Lupita Nyong'o kicking some zombie ass. That alone makes this movie worth watching. This is a film that at its heart is a comedy with horror and romance elements woven throughout this movie, and while this movie does nail the comedy and gore elements of the genre, the romance is honestly the weakest part of the movie. The script gave me zero reason to believe why Miss Caroline would fall for a guy like Dave. I just didn't buy it. Dave is the kind of guy who you might like in like small doses, but if you had to hang out with him for more than a month or just once a month, you'll want to kill yourself. The film obviously plays up Dave's obnoxiousness and immaturity for laughs, which is fine, but the fact that Miss Caroline actually digs him kind of disappointed me. I'm sorry, but you can't be that much of a loser and still get the girl. It's like the saying goes, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But still, even though romance is the least believable part of the movie, it's not nearly enough to get in the way of what's really a funny, surprisingly heartwarming story. It's not often that I watch a horror movie rooting for the children to survive, but this is one of those special occasions, and that's no small triumph in a genre that's been pretty played out in recent years. I'm giving this movie a B. It's a solid movie, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Little Monsters turned out to be the best zombie movie of 2019. Not bad for a Hulu movie. But alright guys, that's my review of Little Monsters. If you like this video, go ahead, give me a like. It really helps the channel out apparently. And if you're subbed to any movie-based channels out there, one more talking head won't hurt. So do us both a favor, hit that subscribe button, keep yourself updated with all the latest TV and movie news.